Hey, everybody. How is everyone doing? Jason is in a training class, but he will be with us eventually. But court is going live in 15 minutes, maybe sooner, but at the latest at 12 noon Eastern. So I said, let's do this thing. Rumor on the YouTube streets is that it's going to be Thug pleading. I don't know that for certain. So I do want to say that I don't know that for certain. But apparently there are several pleas going, plea deals rather going. So we're going to check that out and see what's going on. I'm very interested. I'm sure you guys are. I've got court pulled up on my other screen so I can see it as soon as it goes live. We will jump over there. Let me know what you guys are thinking. What's going through your head? Do you think it'll be a plea? Do you think it'll be a mistrial? If so, do you think it'll be with prejudice or without prejudice? Who do you think will be pleading? I personally thought it was going to be Shannon Stillwell today. But everybody's saying no, that it's Thug today. So I don't know. What are you guys thinking? No mistrial, says Ray. You think it'll just be a no mistrial and get started? I know the jury is there today. The jury is definitely there. Infamous Sylvia reported that the jury was there today, which I find interesting if they're just doing pleas. But you say Kendrick will be next, Doug will be last. That's kind of what I thought. Well, I thought Shannon would be next, and I definitely thought Doug would be last, but I guess if you can make a plea, you don't see Thug making a plea. Okay. Fair. I don't think he should make a plea because I don't think he has done anything wrong. I think renting a car is not a RICO make. I've rented a car for a friend before. They did something shady in it. I would like to think I wouldn't go to prison for the rest of my life, but that's me. But, if it's take something like house arrest and you get out of jail, you know, I would probably do it if I were him. But he's got a great attorney, a great attorney that's going to serve him well. Thug, please, I don't see how it's a good thing for his future. I don't know that I would take, gosh, the word escaped my brain, probation. Because I think if he takes probation, they will find any excuse to violate him to get him back in jail. That's me. So we've got 10 minutes before court goes live. Good morning, lip licker. What's that name? Oh, y'all hear the music? I didn't know you heard it. I'm sorry. I'll cancel. It's the court music for 11 Live. Here, I'll kill it. I'm sorry. I'm sure they don't have all the facts. I don't believe they're 100% innocent. I don't think they're all innocent. I didn't say that. I did not say that. But I bet he takes a plea to have this over. Yeah. No, I do not think they're all innocent. I didn't say that, and I don't think that at all. I had to get a new camera because my cat knocked my camera down and scratched the lens. Can y'all tell me how this one looks? If it's clear. Hey, Miss Tina. I know what you mean, Ray. I had one friend that I would do anything for, anything, no questions asked. But she would never ask me to do anything nefarious. I absolutely agree with you, Debbie. I absolutely agree with you. Court at 1 p.m. They said court at 12 p.m. No, they said court at 12 p.m. Unless they updated it within the last 5 minutes. Where did you see that, Richard? But I agree with you. I do think it's a scam to enhance her career, to make her look like, look, I'm tough on crime. And that's what I agree with. I agree with that completely. But there needs to be justice for the families as well. You know what I mean? And lead attorney said 1 o'clock. Okay. All right. Well, we'll watch videos until court goes on. We'll chat till 12. If they don't come on, we'll watch videos until 1 o'clock. Wish they would have the fair trial so we could form an educated opinion. They were guilty. That's very fair, David. Very fair. But they didn't. There was lots of misdealings, underhanded stuff. And I think that's why the pleas are coming in. You know? Let's see if I can find this video. Oh, I want to show a video from City Nash's channel because this really blew my mind when I saw it this morning. It will blow y'all's too, because this is not how we thought this worked out at all. We thought he went back to jail. Watch this. Let me find it. Yeah, right here. It's real quick, so you kind of have to watch. Watch this. Let me bring this in here. Okay, so watch this. This is pretty awesome. So watch careful.
To the plea. Thank you.
Watch.
All right, we are adjourned for the day.
Way free.
Oh, do the wrong.
Wow. We'll play the entirety of the whole entire thing, but
like, who thought that happened? Raise your hand, because I didn't. I thought he went back to jail. I saw that this morning and I was like, wait a minute, what? Back that up again? Yeah, apparently he serves that in a later date. Yeah. Hey, Mark Moore, how you doing? Yeah. So I was blown away. No, apparently he didn't. No, it's to be served in 7. So he does do more time. He does it in 7 years. It's deferred. I didn't know it either.
What? To the plea. Thank you. All right, we are adjourned for the day. Oh, make it up again. You had to do the wrong.
Wow. Wow.
I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, you just can't. You just can't be the first in everything. Yeah, it was very heartfelt. I like I like lawyers that care for their clients, and I can't ever remember that lawyer's name from yesterday that pled out Nichols. The guy with that pled him out with the um, gray. He gave Doug a high five. Really? That's awesome. Harvey. That's right. I can't ever remember his name for some reason. But yeah, uh, he got choked up, and that was so sweet. That was so sweet. I felt that. I felt like he really cared for him, and that hit me. That hit me where I live. All right, let's find something to watch here. Ah, this is good. Let's watch this. But we got Jason with us after all. All right, let's watch this.
Everybody, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you know that it's National YSL Trial Motion Response Day. Happy day. Man, it's crazy, man. This thing has gone, when I tell you it's gone way over the shark, this thing has jumped the shark, and I'm not even joking. I got something for you today. You all are not ready for it. You're not. You're just not ready for it. Anyway, grace and peace, everybody. We're back, and we are going to look at this YSL, dare I say again, some of the responses from the state to the motions that were filed earlier this week. And the reason this is important is because on Tuesday, Judge Whitaker is going to start hearing these motions. So she wants to get all this stuff out of the way, get all the wrangling, all the politicking, all that stuff is getting out of the way so we can get down to some brass tacks on on Tuesday. So definitely this week coming up is going to be fireworks central. I'm still kind of thinking it's still going to go into a mistrial with prejudice. And that's still my little 2 cents. She went home, she looked online, she just started doing some searches. She said, what is this dumpster fire that I've gotten myself into? And they're not real long, though. I will say this. They're not long. And somebody said they're not long because the state really didn't have anything to say. Like, yikes. That's kind of brutal. I think it'll be worth your time. So thank you so much, everybody who's already jumped into the chat. Thank you, everybody who is going to hit that like button and such of that nature. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. My name is Jason. Again, I'm a pre-K law student. And what does that mean, Jason? That means I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a guy that lives here in Atlanta, Georgia, that has been very, very interested in these cases that have been going on nationwide, especially locally, and how they impact our society. So I wanted to talk about those. So thank you so much for coming aboard today to hear what I'm saying and from giving social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And let's get at it because we got a lot to do. So let's go. Jason, what we got today? Now, one of them that I really don't think we should let slide by is Mr. Doug Weinstein. Now, if you remember on Wednesday or earlier this week when they filed motion, there was the gag order. Like, y'all stop talking to the people and y'all stop going before cameras and y'all stop coming on podcasts. Hey, Doug, holla at your boy. I got you. Okay. That was the idea was like, hey, you all can't, as defense attorneys, be on podcasts, be on blogs, talking to the news about this case. Well, there's a small problem with that. And I think you all know Fonnie Willis has talked about this case. And she's done it quite a bit. I think, in my opinion, the defense has said more, but I don't think it's in volume or scale. It's just the fact that you've talked about it. So Fonnie Willis has talked about this case. She talked about the election interference case. So I don't think they have as much a leg to stand on. And guess what? Doug Weinstein says about that much. So let's pull Doug in. Doug Weinstein's motion, not actual Doug. But hey, Doug, for real, again, you want to holler at your boy? I'll gladly have you come on. I'd love to meet you and hear what you got to say. Love it. Let's see if I did this right. All right, let us go. Let us go. Let us go. All right, so this is Doug's response to the supposed gag order from earlier this week. State of Georgia versus DeMonte Kendrick. Kendrick's opposition to state's motion to restrict extrajudicial statements comes now, defended DeMonte Kendrick in the above style case in opposition to state's motion to restrict extrajudicial statements, showing the court the following. Everyone is in favor of free speech. Hardly a day passes without it's being extolled. But some people's idea of it is that they are free to say what they like. But if anyone says anything back, that is an outrage. Sir Winston Churchill. I think that was pretty savage. But it's going to get worse. Don't you worry about that. I think if we decide to admit your crimes over a beat, I'm sorry. I think if you decide to admit your crimes over a beat, I'm going to use it. I'm not targeting anyone. You do not get to commit crimes in my county and then get to decide to brag on it, which you do that for a form of intimidation and to gain and to not be held responsible. This is from the Honorable Fonnie Willis, Fulton County District Attorney, press conference, August 29th, 2022. So what Doug is doing here is pointing out that Fonnie has talked to the news. Why can't I talk to the news? And he's going to show further, and he's going to show more of this as well. Like, look, you get to talk to the press. You get to talk to the public about this case. We get to as well. Free speech for me, but not for thee, is the current position advocated by the Fulton County District Attorney. This should not be surprising to anyone that has paid attention to the present case over the last 19 months of trial. The state would apparently like the present trial to be conducted in secret, with proceedings happening in hidden chambers outside of prying eyes of the press or the public. The state repeatedly sought the secreting. Why is it looking like that? Okay. The secreting of which is being streamed today to the public, which I do think is pretty interesting. This is one of the few cases that is not every court in America streams. So there's some states, like New York, you don't get to stream. And I think that's really interesting. I mean, it's good and it's bad. I don't know if we want all cases to be streamed or we want them to not be streamed, or all to be televised and others not to be, or all not to be televised. I don't know, but Georgia's one of those places. And I don't know if it's on the judge or the state or whomever to decide that. So it's just interesting. Just a little caveat. To the extent there are any remarks not specifically in the public record, which statements are generally remarks intended to demonstrate that Kendrick should not be on trial. Justice Kennedy rightly understood the present situation that Kendrick and his co-counsels, or rather his counsel, find themselves in. Kennedy wrote this: an attorney's duties do not begin inside the courtroom door. He or she cannot ignore the practical implications of a legal proceeding for the client. An attorney may take responsible steps to defend a client's reputation and reduce the adverse consequences of indictment, especially in the face of prosecution deemed unjust or condemned with their improper motives. A defense attorney may attempt to demonstrate in the court of public opinion that the client does not deserve to be on trial. That's it right there. I mean, I don't know much more. I didn't think there needed to be much more after that, truth be told. I thought Doug crushed it right there. Like, look, this is his job. His job is to make you see his client as just a human, to see his client and to understand that his client should not be tried, should not be in this courtroom at all. Justice Kennedy also correctly notes, I do find it funny when they're writing about somebody that they agree with, they always extol them as doing the right thing. Justice Kennedy rightly notes here. Judge Whitaker correctly discusses here. I just think that's hilarious. All right. Justice Kennedy also rightly notes that the police and prosecution, other government officials, and community at large hold innumerable avenues for the dissemination of information adverse to the client, rather the criminal defendant. By contrast, the defendant cannot speak without fear of incriminating himself and prejudicing his defense, and most criminal defendants have insufficient means to retain public relations teams apart from the defense counsel for the sole purpose of countering prosecution statements. Okay. So again, Weinstein is just pointing out here that the only person that can speak on behalf of the client, the only person that can speak on behalf of the accused is the defense counsel. Finishing this up, Kennedy, he didn't say rightly here, Kennedy cites the important role that defense counsel plays in educating the public on pending cases in writing. Because attorneys participate in the criminal justice system and are trained in its complexities, they hold unique qualifications as a source of information about pending cases. Since lawyers are considered credible in regard to pending litigation in which they are engaged and are in one of the most knowledgeable positions, they are a crucial source of information and opinion. To the extent the press and public rely upon attorneys for information because attorneys are well informed, this may prove the value to the public of speech by members of the bar. If the dangers of their speech arise from a persuasiveness, from their ability to explain judicial proceedings, or from the likelihood the speech will be believed, these are not the sort of dangers that can validate restrictions. The First Amendment does not permit suppression of speech because of its power to command assent. Let's go. Let's finish this up. I love it. Doug is not playing any games with them at all. This is the exact situation that Kendrick and his counsel find themselves in today. Kendrick is a public figure who is an artist. He writes records. He writes, records, and performs rap music and lyrics. In Fulton County, this makes Kendrick a target of the state. Kendrick is allowed to take responsible steps to protect his reputation, and those steps may be taken by the council rather than through the public relations firm. Basically saying that, look, I'm his PR guy. I'm speaking on behalf of my client, which I think a zealous advocate is necessary. So I definitely don't see any problem with that at all. But let's finish this up. Let's go. Having smeared Kendrick and his reputation, sorry about that, and his reputation, the state wants to silence him, initially by placing a burden on his free speech rights to write about the world in which he lives and tragedies and injustices around him. And now by holding press conferences denouncing him and his writing, while subsequently seeking to bar him from defending himself in the court of public opinion. So they said, look, you're saying that he can't speak publicly, but you speak publicly. He can't address what you say publicly, but you can continue. Then you can say, you can quash his ability to do so, or my ability as Judge Weinstein, not Judge Weinstein, Doug Weinstein, lawyer Weinstein is saying there. I got you. While the state has unfortunately been successful in impermissibly burdening the free speech of Kendrick by limiting his present and future writing, the state should not be allowed to bar him from defending his reputation. Wherefore, Kendrick prays for the court to deny the state's motion respectfully submitted. And that is it. This is going to be crazy. I love it. I think Doug Weinstein did a great job of explaining it. I agree with him. I think he should be able to share what he believes and where he is. If they're able to do it, and Fonnie Willis can say, hey, your rap lyrics are problematic, then I think Doug and the rest of the team should be able to do the same thing and be able to say, like, hey, this is not fair. This is not right. I think that is a very reasonable request. So we'll see.
I'm muted. At least I caught it that time. Okay, I thought we could just go over that and sum that up real quick. What did everybody think? Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good afternoon to the people coming in. Court will start, they're saying now, sometime between now and 1 o'clock. So we'll hang out, watch some videos. I've got a couple things lined up for us. Who watched the president's address last night? Anybody? Still morning in Houston? Yeah, morning, afternoon, depending on where you're at. Oh, thank you, Yvette. I appreciate it. I actually rushed through it, so I appreciate that. Nope. Be glad you didn't. Yep, in dog. Kind of hurtful. It was. See if this is it. Oh, I hope so. If not, just message me, okay? Let's go to this. Anybody familiar with the YouTube channel called The Benny Show? Shout out to The Benny Show. I love that. I love that channel. Let's take a gander at this.
Event right outside of the White House. Joe Biden inside the White House is destroying her campaign. This is what Joe Biden said on a Zoom call where he was banned from campaigning with Kamala. He was banned from walking outside to the Kamala event. Joe Biden inside the White House calling at least 100 million Americans garbage. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's delicious. The setup for this is that a comedian, an insult comic, Kill Tony Hinchcliffe, said that Puerto Rico was a floating pile of garbage. Okay? Agree or disagree? He's an insult comic. He tells jokes. Who cares? You're offended at a joke. Whatever. Joe Biden then goes on and says that all of Trump supporters are garbage. And I know as a matter of fact, that there are hundreds of millions of Trump supporters in this nation. So Joe Biden calls the majority of America garbage. Now, the media has had a hysterical, menopausal meltdown over the comics.
We don't know,
joke
Jason. We
over
don't
the last
know.
couple days. And now Joe Biden, the sitting president of the United States, has come forward and said, no, half of America's garbage. They're trying to spin this as though he didn't say it. It was on camera. Here's the clip.
Where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. The White House is trying to lie to you and say he didn't say this. So I've slowed it down.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporter.
That's our president. Called us garbage if you support Trump, just so you know. Yeah. All right. So if you are curious about what happened yesterday, if you weren't here, if you missed some of it, we are going to replay that. I thought that we could go back over that just as a refresher with what happened with Nichols. Here we go. Yeah, I agree with this. I think that it's public information, right? If they committed a crime against the public, it's public information. You're new here, wanted to check it out? Okay, let's check it out. Here we go. Not all of them, Lisa. I'm a Trump supporter, and I don't think I'm hateful.
We're going to publish 37 NN. Who is in 37 NN?
I'm sorry, this is a different one. This is what happened that caused everything. This is what put everything into motion, guys. This is what was said on stand that put all of this into motion. So listen carefully, okay?
OG Boo. OG Boo.
And who is that?
Shannon.
All right. And can you read for the jury the caption?
Read his caption.
Yes.
Said ain't nothing more compatible than a trench. A carbon while in the trenches.
And then is there a hashtag?
Hashtag no slime left behind. Hashtag 2Bs. Life size.
And is there another hashtag?
Free Quay.
Is there another hashtag on the screen?
Oh no.
Your Honor,
It's in this paper
Your
right here.
Honor.
You got me reading.
Your Honor, I have to make a motion.
All right, I'm gonna excuse.
I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking at this paper.
That's fine, don't worry about it. Can I ask you to step outside for just a minute? And jury, I'll excuse y'all for just a minute. Mr. Lee, can you step outside for a minute for me, please? Thank you.
Your Honor, we're making a motion for mistrial on behalf of Mr. Nichols. We're not going to be able to unring this bell. Your Honor, this is the exact same issue that while we were at the bench, I brought it up. It was Exhibit 37NN that the hashtag, there was a hashtag on that exhibit that said free Quay, which would definitely indicate to the jury that Quay, has spent time in jail or in prison. The state agreed. We stipulated that they would redact it. And then the state presented, I guess, to the witness the unredacted version, didn't prep him to not comment on it, and he did. And Your Honor, before we had the opportunity for you to preside over us, this happened already again. And I made a motion for a mistrial. Now it's happened again. So now the jury has repeatedly heard about Mr. Nichols being in jail, being in prison, and you cannot unring that bell. We would ask for a mistrial.
Your Honor, Carter Matthews for Mr. Marquavius Huey. We join in that motion for mistrial. And what's important for this court to know is that 45 minutes ago, there had been a reference to a person being in jail. Now, this witness has identified Marquavius Huey and has also identified Marquavius Nichols. So all the state had to do was ask this honorable court for an opportunity to have this witness maybe step out of the courtroom and go over with that witness that, we don't need to say anything about someone in jail, what have you. That did not happen before he went on the stand, nor after that first slip up by this witness. There may have even been a document right there on the witness stand that should have been pulled from the state of Georgia from that witness stand so that this could have been avoided. So, Your Honor, we are joining in that motion as well.
Oh, hang on. It's all right. You just didn't know, but we'll let you know when to come back in, okay?
So we join in that motion, Your Honor.
Your Honor, and I just want to briefly add that it is painfully obvious that the state is not prepping their witnesses. You can tell by the way when the witness spoke the first time and he said, oops, am I not supposed to say that? Like, oh, I had no idea, which makes it obvious that the state had not spoke to him, had not prepped them. And this has happened repeatedly. It's happening over and over again, Your Honor, and we're just not going to be able to unring 100 bells.
And finally, Your Honor, Mr. Marquavius Huey, it's been established that that his nickname is Quay.
Okay, isn't there going to be, we talked today about, isn't there going to be a stipulation that references to Quay, at least at some points, are not either Mr. Nichols or Mr. Huey? We did.
Yes, Your Honor, and that's a few things. So one, Your Honor, it was not intentional because we clearly.
Okay, but it was sloppy because I presume he's reading from the document that you handed him instead of reading from the screen.
And we should have instructed him to read from the screen, but.
Or you should have presented him with a document that had that part redacted. It's just sloppy.
The issue came while he was on the stand, Your Honor. So the issue did not come prior to. Ms. Westmoreland walked up to me while he was on the stand and said, I'm going to have an issue with that. Can you redact it? That is when the state became aware.
Then it should have occurred to you, you know what? I'm handing him a hard copy of this document that is unredacted.
But not if there's multiple Quays, Your Honor. If I don't know which Quay that.
Hang on. Can we stop having people come in and out when I've asked the witness to step out and every time the door opens, they can hear what we're talking about? Please, just for a few seconds. I'm not asking anybody who's in here to leave. God have mercy, y'all. Huh?
The state is in charge of the witness, and they're supposed to be guiding the witness to the room.
And so that is the point in which we learned of it is we redacted it on here. Ms. Westmoreland brought it up here.
Yeah, and you didn't read it. So the jury didn't see it, but now the jury has heard it. I don't think it is really that, much of a crisis because there is going to be this stipulation that Quay is not always either of these defendants. So, nor is it obvious to everybody that free whomever is such a quote about who knows, everything these days. And so it doesn't necessarily indicate that whomever Quay is, Quay spent time in jail or in custody or in prison or anything. I mean, they say it about, Hollywood stars who are in a breakup. It's not so obviously, oh, this must mean this person was in prison. But also, we were already saying Quay isn't either of these people. So let's just,
And
whether this was one of these people or I don't even know who it did refer to.
And we don't know because it's not his post. He was reading someone else's post. So it could be a multitude of ways.
You talked to his attorney
Yes.
earlier, right?
Yes.
And did you get any kind of an indication? I don't know if this
It
was
wasn't
one
an
of the
issue
things you
ear-
were gonna, but it's an issue now. And you said before lunch that you were gonna ask Mr. Rubin.
Yes, we did ask.
Do you know at this point whether the free Quay referenced, this wasn't even his post, was it?
It wasn't, and it wasn't an issue until Ms. West. So when I talked to Mr. Rubin at lunchtime, this wasn't something I was going to address with him because it wasn't I did not realize it was an issue. Mr. Rubin found out for me that Slack Quay is not either of these two Quays.
Okay, but this isn't Slack Quay. This is just Quay.
Right.
I know. So why doesn't everybody, well, they don't know how it's spelled. They only heard it. Why doesn't everybody just enter into some sort of a stipulation that the free Quay or the reference to Quay just now isn't either of these people?
I don't know if it is, so it was.
Whether it, okay, so.
Your Honor, the state can enter stipulation that we weren't referencing any, we as the state of Georgia.
Okay, that is not a reference to, if you would prefer that.
I don't know what the poster is referencing.
I don't honestly really care what the poster was referencing. What I'm trying to do is fix your sloppiness so that everybody won't have wasted, 10, 12 months of their lives in this trial.
Yeah, we can come up with.
Okay, do it now. Y'all work on that. I'm going to take 5 minutes.
I'm muted again. I knew that. So that's what started it all. Free Quay on an Instagram post. And here we are. One little swipe of whiteout would have fixed this mess, but they couldn't even be bothered. They couldn't be bothered. Nope. Which makes me question many things. The words of Emily D. Baker, I have questions. I have questions. Does it not seem convenient to you guys? Does it not seem a little convenient that they couldn't be bothered to swipe with the swipe of whiteout? Almost like it was set up to be this way. I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying it seems convenient. Seems convenient. That's all. That's all I'm saying. What do you guys think? Do you think it was just their sloppiness, or do you think it was intentional? I'm curious what you guys think. Very suspicious. Thank you, Project Band Shirt. Sarah said, yes, it does. Hi, Tina. Another person says intentional. It's definitely. It's shady suspect at best. Ridiculous. Sloppy. Yeah. And then she really tried to cover it. She really tried to cover it. It's not even that big of a deal, really. Nobody knows who Quay is. Nobody. It could be free anything. Really, Paige? Is that the rock we're dying under? No. No, Paige. No page. No page. Notice towards the end, when the judge says this doesn't reference either of these men, Hilton was like, we don't know if it does. Like she wanted to keep it in there. Yeah. Yeah, I did notice that. Intentional and ridiculous. I heard that too, but I couldn't confirm it. But I heard that too. That's what they were saying in Law and Crime chat, but I don't know. So I thought we could watch a little bit of what happened yesterday with Nichols. If y'all were down for that.
Now let's have him at the podium because he's going to have to take an active part in this.
Most epic ponytail ever. Okay, I'm not going to talk, I promise.
All right.
Okay, sure.
Sergeant, can you swear him in, please?
Raise your right hand. So I affirm testimony you give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes. All right. State, spell your first and last name for the court. So allow me to the mic, please, sir.
Marvius Nichols, Quamarvious, last name Nichols, Nichols.
Did you get that, Judge?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do it again? All right, slow down. Your name, spell it for this young lady right here.
Okay, my name is Marvius Nichols, first name Quamarvious, my last name Nichols, Nichols.
And Mr. Nichols, are you the same person referred to as Quamarvius Nichols on indictment 22 SC 183572?
Yes.
And are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No.
Have you had the opportunity to sign this indictment with your attorney, Mr. Bruce Harvey?
Yes.
How old are you?
29.
And how far did you go in school?
I got my GED.
I did not hear you.
I got my GED.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Do you understand that in this indictment, you were initially charged with count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. You were also charged with count 49 in this indictment, which is murder, which carries a sentence of life. You were charged with 2 counts of participation in criminal street gang activity, which was counts 50 and 51, which each carried a sentence of 5 to 20 years. You were initially charged with counts 53 and 65, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon under Code Section 16-11-133, which each carry a sentence of 15 years consecutive to count 1. And then you were also charged with count 54, which is possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, which carries a sentence of 5 years consecutive to count 1. Do you understand that that's what you were initially charged with?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to go over and review the waiver of rights form with your attorney?
Yes.
And I'm going to hand this to your attorney. Did you sign this along with your attorney?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney, Mr. Bruce Harvey, about all the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charge in this indictment?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to discuss this man with your attorney?
No.
Are you satisfied with his counsel and representation?
Yes.
And I'd include in there the counsel and representation by Ms. Westmoreland and Mr. Garland as well. You had a team of attorneys.
That's correct.
All right.
And they are all attorneys of record and have participated in this particular proceeding and negotiations leading up to this proceeding.
Thank you.
Do you waive formal reading of the indictment?
Yes.
Do you waive any and all defects with respect to the indictment?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, have you been arrested on all the charges in this indictment?
Yes.
And Mr. Harvey, the state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Do you know of any outstanding warrants that are related to these charges?
Not related to those charges.
Have you been advised of the minimum and maximum sentence for each charge that you are pleading to?
Yes.
Do you understand this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means that the state will recommend to the court as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, a sentence of 20 years to serve 7 years in custody, balanced on probation.
Yes.
Do you understand that as a part of the negotiated agreement, the state will null, or dismiss count 49, which is the murder count, count 50, 51, which are the gang activity counts, count 53, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, count 54, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and count 65, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Do you understand that is the negotiated agreement?
Yes.
Do you understand that the court does not have to accept that recommendation?
Yes.
And the court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those charges consecutively or one after the other?
Yes.
Well, there's only one charge that
So I-
a guilty plea is
I
being
was-
entered into, so
Under my breath to that.
there's no other sentence to run anything consecutively with
Right.
regard to this plea. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you understand this plea may be used to enhance sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction as well as in other jurisdictions, including the federal courts?
Yes.
Do you understand if you are currently on probation or parole, your probation or parole may be revoked based on your entering a guilty plea today?
Yes.
Do you understand if you're placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of your sentence?
Yes.
Do you understand you are not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation?
Yes.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, a guilty plea conviction will affect your immigration status and will result in deportation, just like a conviction at a trial would? And that is true regardless of any advice by your attorney or anyone else.
Yes.
Do you understand that neither the court, your attorney, nor the district attorney's office has anything to do with parole, the Department of Corrections, or Board of Pardons and Paroles, and no one can guarantee parole no matter what anyone has told you?
Yes.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, your right to hold public office, your right to serve on a jury, your right to obtain a passport, your right to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or the ability to obtain employment.
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, if you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or use a firearm in a crime, you'll be guilty of a felony, which may carry a sentence of 1 to 15 years in prison?
Yes.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand if you went to trial, you have the right to a trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and confront witnesses called to testify against you, and the right to testify to remain silent and not incriminate yourself?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights? After each right, I'll ask you to say yes or no if you understand. The right to a trial by jury,
Yes.
the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself,
Yes.
the right to confront witnesses against you,
Yes.
the right to assist with counsel hired by you or to court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at the trial of your case,
Yes.
the right to the presumption of innocence,
Yes.
the right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence,
Yes.
the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence,
Yes.
the right to have the charges against you proved beyond a reasonable doubt,
Yes.
the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial.
Yes.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter a guilty plea?
No.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you're in fact guilty?
Yes.
With respect to indictment 22 SC 183572, How do you plead to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with a full knowledge of the charge against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have only a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have 4 years from today's date to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this plea?
Yes.
And that can challenge anything about the constitutionality of the plea. It's not limited to voluntariness, understand?
Yes.
And Your Honor, if this case were to
Hang on just a second. You also have, so 4 years for that to file a direct appeal. You have 30 days from the date of sentencing, which is going to be today. And you have until the end of this term of court to file a motion seeking to withdraw your guilty plea. That doesn't mean anything like that would be granted. You would have to establish facts that would warrant that. But that's just the time period is until the end of this term of court. Do you understand those as well?
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, if this case were to continue with trial, Your Honor, the state would expect, as to this defendant, the state would expect to show that what has already come into evidence that on July 3rd, 2017, as well as October 23rd, 2018, that this defendant is an associate of the enterprise of YSL, also known as Young Slime Life, and that he conspired to associate together with others for the common purpose of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. In furtherance of the conspiracy, this defendant engaged in the activities below. He engaged in activities that assisted with preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through acts of racketeering activity to include murder, assault, and threats of violence. That this defendant preserved, protect, and enhance the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise by the posting of messages, images, appearance in videos, and songs demonstrating allegiance to the enterprise and a willingness to engage in violence on its behalf, and to obtain money, weapons, and other property through acts of racketeering activity, including the unlawful sale and distribution of drugs. Your Honor, evidence has come in during this trial that on July 3rd, 2017, Mr. Nichols was located at 2612 Steele Avenue, which is in the Cleveland Avenue sector of the city. Your Honor, he was found inside of a vehicle. When that vehicle was searched, Your Honor, this was in October 2018, they found marijuana as well as sandwich baggies that would be used to package drugs. And there are also guns found inside of that vehicle. Also in July of 2017, this defendant was stopped during a traffic stop in the Cascade area, Your Honor. After being stopped, Your Honor, there was a consensual search of the vehicle that yielded powder MDMA, Xanax, as well as a loaded gun inside of that vehicle. Additionally, Your Honor, in July of 2019, Mr. Nichols was featured in a video with another YSL member, Shannon Stillwell, and Wooney Lee. In that video, it was entitled Slap Talk. And in that video, co-conspirator Shannon Stillwell, while performing, makes such quotes as, "Me and my slimes are above the law." We know from the evidence that slimes is one of the terminology used by members of YSL to refer to themselves or other members of this enterprise. And then last but certainly not least, Your Honor, that in March of 2022, Your Honor, Mr. Nichols was found in surveillance video at a gas station at Windsor Street and Fulton Street here in Atlanta, Georgia. This was on March 14, 2022, during what the state would believe to show an onset of a gang war that really started in 2015 with the death of Donovan Thomas that carried on into 2022. In February of 2022, a rival gang member by the name of Rayshawn Bennett, also known as YFN Lucci, was stabbed at the Fulton County Jail in February of 2022. Information about that stabbing was made public at the early part of March 2022, around March 3rd of 2022. Once that information was released to the public, there was an onset of retaliatory activity that occurred between March 3rd, 2022 and March 16th of 2022. That includes a March 11th homicide of YSL associates, Christian McMiller and Darius Ford. It also did include a retaliatory shooting of a YFN associate, and then ultimately it led to a murder of Shamel Drinks, who we believe is a YFN associate. This murder occurred again on March 14, 2022. Mr. Nichols is seen on surveillance video at that BP gas station, as I just referenced earlier. He was at the gas station with YSL co-conspirator Shannon Stillwell. Mr. Stillwell was driving an Audi vehicle. Mr. Nichols came to that gas station in a Ford Fusion vehicle. You see both of them on camera together. While they are at that gas station, Shamel Drinks approaches that gas station as well. I think unbeknownst to Mr. Drinks, Mr. Stillwell was still in his vehicle, which is the Audi. At some point in time, Mr. Nichols got to his vehicle, the Ford Fusion. Once Mr. Drinks finished his business or finished handling business at that gas station, we know that there is a phone call between occupants of the car that Mr. Stillwell was in and occupants of the car that Mr. Nichols was in. That communication was to the effect that we need to get on FaceTime. As soon as that conversation ensues, we see Mr. Drinks leave the gas station in his vehicle, and both the car that Mr. Stillwell is driving, as well as the car that Mr. Nichols is driving, both follow out of the gas station, following behind Mr. Drinks. Mr. Drinks proceeds down the street to the light at Windsor, which is right by I-20 in Windsor. Mr. Drinks is in the far left lane. The car involving with Mr. Stillwell pulls up to the middle lane, and Mr. Nichols' vehicle pulls up to the far right lane. This is all captured on surveillance video and surveillance camera. They are at the light for a moment. Then we see both this car with Mr. Stillwell as well as the car with Mr. Nichols drive through a red light, leaving the car with Mr. Drinks sitting at that light. About 30 minutes later, a Good Samaritan sees that car still sitting there, approaches the vehicle, and Mr. Drinks is now deceased inside of that vehicle. We had know through LPR readers that both Mr. Stillwell's vehicle and the car involving Mr. Nichols drive in the direction of 20 westbound, and it's kind of followed in tandem. 2 days later, when after the case is investigated and arrest warrants are taken out, on March 17th, 3 days later, Mr. Nichols is found with Mr. Stillwell at a Chick-fil-A gas station, Chick-fil-A restaurant. There is a chase, I won't call it a high-speed chase, but there is a chase through the city of East Point, and eventually Mr. Nichols as well as Mr. Stillwell are both apprehended after arrest warrants were ultimately taken out for the murder of Mr. Drinks, Your Honor. Given where we are in the case, Your Honor, we know that Mr. Nichols, we do not believe Mr. Nichols was in the vehicle in which the shooting occurred, but he was in this other vehicle. The state has made a decision to move forward with this recommendation for the RICO count, Your Honor, for count one.
Mr. Harvey, are y'all acknowledging a factual basis to the count one, the RICO count?
Okay, we are acknowledging a factual basis. There has already been evidence with regard to the July 3rd, 2017 drug event, the October 23rd, 2018 drug event. We categorically deny and contest any use of violence by Mr. Nichols. We don't agree to the underlying factual basis. We believe those two predicate acts that were committed by Mr. Nichols, without any question, are sufficient to meet the elements of the offense. The offense to which he's pleaded to, which is a RICO conspiracy. A RICO conspiracy requires proof that the defendant either conspire with another person to violate one of the substantive provisions of RICO, and that would be drug offenses, or personally endeavor I believe that's what the language of the statute says, to violate one of the substantive provisions.
Well, that's what the language of the statute says, but
Yes.
he is indicted in this indictment with conspiring, not with endeavoring.
That's correct. So we're talking about a conspiracy. We acknowledge the two events that he participated in. We categorically deny any other allegations other than those two events that are sufficient for a factual basis. We categorically deny that we participated in any way in the unfortunate death of Mr. Drinks. We categorically deny any other charges to which we are, substantive charges to which we are not entering a plea, and that includes gang charges. This is a plea solely to a conspiracy to violate the RICO Act. So that, but yes, we acknowledge a factual basis to that extent, Your Honor.
Understood. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I just have one additional thing to say.
Go ahead.
The factual basis regarding the nature of YSL is that the evidence has shown and will continue to show that Mr. Nichols conspired with others to participate in Young Slime Life through a pattern of racketeering activity, and multiple defendants and unindicted co-conspirators have committed overt acts to further this conspiracy, including drug sales, aggravated assault, and murder. Also including social media posts asserting the violent nature of and asserted dominance of Young Slime Life, also known as YSL. And that concludes our factual.
And again, once again, we categorically deny those representations. And again, the only thing that is necessary to meet the factual evidence of a 1614-4C is proof that the defendant conspired with another person to violate one of the substantive provisions of RICO, and that is subsumed by the drug offenses that have already been proven in this case, and to which Mr. Nichols has previously pled.
All right, thank you. Understood.
And Your Honor, may I approach with the waiver of rights form?
Yes. All right, Mr. Harvey, have you reviewed with Mr. Nichols this plea of guilty and waiver of rights form, which the two of you have both signed?
I have, Judge, in each individual provision in that plea colloquy has been acknowledged and gone over personally with Mr. Nichols.
All right. And Mr. Nichols, have you had sufficient time to consider this guilty plea that has been negotiated between the state and your attorneys, and to discuss anything you wanted to about that with your attorneys?
Yes.
All right. And you understand, I hope, I'm going to ask you, that it is your decision ultimately, obviously with the advice of your attorneys, but it's ultimately up to you individually to decide whether you want to enter this guilty plea or not. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And you do want to enter this guilty plea?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Harvey, have you advised Mr. Nichols of the alternatives if he does not ultimately go through with his guilty plea, and the potential benefits and drawbacks of all of the other options?
Yes, very thoroughly, Judge.
All right. All right, Mr. Harvey, is there anything that the defense wants to add to the record?
Judge, other than the statement with regard to the underlying factual basis, I would point out for the court that when Mr. Nichols filled out his form, it says 29 plus. He is a birthday boy in a couple of days, and he will be 30. And at 30 years of age, he has a wife. He has got a 13-year-old daughter. He's got a 10-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. His wife and sister, I believe, are here in the courtroom to support him. He, Mr. Nichols, was born and raised in Atlanta. And, you know, we're at this point, before I have even given my opening statement in this case.
Yes, sir.
I do want the court to know that Mr. Nichols' mother died in prison. His father was shot by the Atlanta police when he was 4 years old. And he was raised by friends and family in the Atlanta area. So he has come to this point in his life from a very humble beginning. And he has sought the support of friends in this courtroom and others in this courtroom. He is an intelligent young man who I believe has a future. Every day we do a word of the day. We put a new word into a sentence. And I think this is in his best interest. I know that there is, and I know this plea is negotiated, but it's a long downside from 7 to 20. So the courts will have jurisdiction over him for a period of time. So I asked the court, given who this young man is, and given our categorical denial of some of the factual basis, to accept the plea and sentence Mr. Nichols accordingly.
Mr. Nichols, is there anything that you want to say?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right, I find there to be a factual basis for the guilty plea to the RICO count one of the indictment, that being a conspiracy to acquire control or interest in money and personal property through a pattern of racketeering activity. And that is the only count that guilty plea is being entered for. The remaining counts of this indictment as against Mr. Nichols are being null pros by the state as a part of this indictment. I find, having heard the evidence up to the point of trial right now, that there is evidence of at least one overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy, and that there is evidence that would fall within the required statute of limitations to establish this RICO conspiracy count. One of the things that we as judges are instructed by our Uniform Superior Court rules to do when we are considering whether to accept a guilty plea and whether to accept a negotiated sentence, and this is a negotiated sentence in this case, is to take into account whether giving leniency in sentencing is going to aid in ensuring promptness and certainty, or at least more promptness and more certainty with regard to corrective measures, whether the defendant, and in this case, the defendant has acknowledged guilt and is accepting responsibility for his guilt of the RICO count, and whether accepting the plea will aid in avoiding further delays, not just with regard to this case, but with regard to the entirety of our system here in Fulton County. And this plea does go towards doing all of those things. I am going to accept the plea as negotiated and sentence in accord with the negotiated recommendation. As I said before, find there to be a factual basis for count one of the plea. I find the plea to have been freely, knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily entered into by Mr. Nichols with an understanding of the consequences of doing that. And the sentence on count one is the sentence that has been negotiated of 20 years to serve 7, with the balance of those years to be served on probation. And that, I don't know if there are any special conditions attached to this that y'all have talked about at all.
There are no negotiated special
Okay.
conditions in those, so there are none as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Okay. So with regard to the time that you are on probation, you need to stay out of all kinds of criminal trouble. Make this a birthday present to yourself and to your children and to your wife and family, that you will leave from here today and leave whatever you used to do behind you, and take the next few years. You know, you're going to have some years that are still to be served on this. You'll have credit for the time you've already served, but you're still going to be facing some incarceration time. But after that, you are going to be out, and you, I believe Mr. Harvey is correct, can be a productive member of society. And this is an opportunity for you to do that and for you to put your past behind.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm cutting it because court's going to go live in about 1 minute. So I'm going to cut it. We've gotten the meat and potatoes of it all anyway. Let me put this. All right, I've got it up in my other screen. As soon as it goes live, I will pull it up. Word on the YouTube streets, and has been confirmed by someone that I trust, is that young thug fans are gathering up outside the courthouse, and apparently they're setting up microphones. I'm not there, So I can't, King Slime is not Thug. Look, that's his stage name, okay? That's what they're calling him in court. They're calling him Jeffrey Williams. Don't jump on me in chat, please. Somebody earlier in chat said, I'm seeing the shadow of Rico. I love that. I'm seeing the shadow of Rico. I'm seeing Rico's shadow. I like that. So yeah, I'm seeing Rico's shadow too. Not sure that I think it's just Rico's shadow. I don't think it's actually Rico. I know they subpoenaed him and everything, but he just won't show. He subpoenaed Rico, but he won't show. Yeah, I got court pulled up in my other screen. As soon as it comes up, I will pull it right in. Rico is MIA, somebody said. Make sure you do your civic duty. Vote early, vote in person. Don't care who you vote for. Vote early, vote in person. You can't complain if you don't vote. Court is open to media. Court is open to the public, Susan. Yeah, you can go in if you want to and sit down. Yeah. Yeah. If you are in the Atlanta area, you can go in there and sit down. Good. Good job. I used to do that. That's good. Very good. You're going to the prisons and jails and do Bible studies now, but that's good. That's fantastic. The C-19 kind of slowed that down for us, though. They're reluctant to let us in now, but remember a few months back, the girlfriend of the guy who is called King Slime had his names, including King Slime, on a shirt she was wearing. Can't remember her name or his name at this present time. I have no idea what you're talking about, Gal. Sorry. Are you talking about Doug's girlfriends? Sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Well, there have been elections where it's had to come down to the popular vote before. So your vote definitely does count. Absolutely, your vote counts. Don't think your vote doesn't count. All right, court, come on. Oh, wow. So apparently there are people from the record label in the courtroom. Wow. Okay, thank you, Gail. This is nuts. This is crazy. I'm going to the law and crime feed and see what I can find. No, that's not what I meant to click on. Give me just 1 second. Okay, they're saying they're still going live at 1, but I guess they let the jury go. Is what someone's saying. It's not necessarily true, but it's what someone's saying. Okay, well, let's pull it up. They cut the music, so maybe that's a good sign. There you go. Where's everybody watching from? That's a good idea, dog. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I'm in the outskirts. I'm in Farmtown. And dog says she's in Wyoming. Chicago in the house. Sydney, Australia in the house. Czech Republic in the house. Georgia, but born and raised in the Big Apple. San Antonio, Texas. I hear you. A lot of friends in Texas. The ATL. Naples, Florida. Huntington, West Virginia. Elmira, New York. I'm in Marriage Prison, Eastern North Carolina. Right. Very good. We're coming from all over Goldsboro, North Carolina. Kentucky. ATL, protect your rights of your sons. Vote Fondy and these judges out. Yes, please. I don't even live in Georgia, but please. There's somebody else on the ticket. Kentucky. Eunice, Louisiana. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Only a North Carolinian can say it like that. North Carolina. Kakalaki. Oh, you're in North Carolina, I didn't know that. No kakalaki in the house. He even said nof. You know you're wrong for that. Nof kakalaki. All right, nothing yet. Winston-Salem. Austell, Georgia. Also North Carolinians. I'm glad to see it. Winston-Salem's beautiful. I said I was going to get down to see the trial this week, but I guess not. Really, Jason? Is that where we're living? You think we don't know where you at? We know where you at, Jason. Got an dog laughing at you. It's like every channel is live right now. Just staring at their screen. I'm checking them. They're all live. Somebody just said in the Law and Crime channel, I've been live since 9 a.m. talking about nothing. Or our Iowa, I hear you. Houston, Texas. And Indog wants everybody to know that her Infinity has never been to Atlanta. Nope. I know, right? Lots of us North Carolinians in the house. Come on and raise up, take your shirt off, twist it around your head. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just bored. Sorry. Feel free to troll me for that. It's fine. I deserve it. No, I'm not singing anymore. I shouldn't sing. Glasses break every time I sing. Cats scream in terror. There's SWAT outside the courthouse. North Carolina will be indicted by the end of the day. Jason, that does not surprise me. Rico's probably in North Carolina. I'm telling you. Like, if you ever been to Charlotte, Rico's probably in Charlotte. North Kakalaki, 10 toes down for DWC. Your uncle passed away this morning. Malika, I'm so sorry. We will be in prayer for your family. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want to meet me in Discord after this, I'll pray for you today. In voice chat. If you're a channel member, and you are not in the best Discord on the planet, and I'm telling you, it used to be slow. It's not anymore. I can barely keep up with it. It is the best Discord on the planet. Go to the community tab, and there's a link to click to go to the best Discord on the planet. We have a prayer channel. We have weekly voice chats. And occasionally people will just jump in the voice chat anyway. Rico's hiding in Stanley. Rico probably is hiding in Stanley. Stanley's just 5 minutes down the road from me. Rico probably is hiding in Stanley. I ain't even trying to cap with you, Renee. I'm in Gastonia, so Rico might actually be hiding in Stanley. But it's great. We got a YSL channel. That's where most everything's happening these days. But it's awesome. It really is great. Yeah, family from Gastonia. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. That's where I was born and raised, and it's where my whole family's from. They've all moved away now. They all live up in the Raleigh, Sanford area now, but if you want to know about Gastonia, picture a little Atlanta. Yeah. Okay, went to lunch to get chili fries. Ooh, chili fries sounds so good. All right. Okay, so they're saying any second now. Okay, good. Nope, Shawnee's World, apparently any second now, court's going live. So you're just in time, apparently. We're just kind of hanging out and chatting and kind of shooting the breeze and waiting on court to start. Waiting for Paige to get back from lunch. Not Paige, Miss Love to get back from lunch, I'm sure. Wow. Yeah, something's going on. Atlanta News First went from having 300 people in chat to having 2,000. So you're just in time. They're saying court will go live any second. That's the last thing we know. That is the last thing we know. Word on the YouTube streets is that Thug is up next, but we don't know for sure. This trial messes up your sleep pattern. Yeah, I dream about that Georgia seal. And then Jason puts out a video about the Georgia seal. I was like, why are you messing with my emotions, man? Are you here? Hit that like button for me. Cutting the chat off on this other screen. They get on my nerves. What? Why don't you have notifications on, Ray? Don't make me come down there. Turn your notifications on, man. Tap that little bell until it has little things beside it. You're dreaming about emotions last night. That's funny. Counted the dots on the Georgia seal. That's hilarious. Look at your message above. Okay. My only problem with Discord is some of y'all being there at 4 a.m. I get alerts waking me up. You can change the alerts to make it to where it only alerts you if someone tags you. Just change the alerts. You think I got the alerts on to where it messages me if y'all up acting crazy at 2 o'clock in the morning? No. I don't. Yeah, I do, but that's my job. I would think not. I would think not. I would think no. I would think they are there to welcome him, is what I'm thinking. You left me a present in Discord, right? I don't want to know. I'm scared to look. I'm going to look right now, though, because I got to know. Could bad benefits from him being there, if they are. Yeah, that's true. I would think it would be good, though. Wouldn't y'all think that would be a good thing if they're there? I would think positive. That would be a positive thing. Makes me nervous, but I would think it would be positive. Let's see if I can get any updates. Let me go to Thugger Daily. Speaking of thugs. Let's see what we can find, if anything. It won't let me go on my computer. Of course it won't. So I have to go on my phone. No, they haven't said that. Little Rod has a toothache, but they haven't said no court today because of Little Rod. Right. Oh, they're doing an interview with Doug Weinstein. I'm going to show you what he said. They asked Doug Weinstein how things were going. Look at this. Did y'all see that? Doug is a trip and a half, man. He did this. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Let's see. Okay, let's see if there's anything else there. That's not new. Okay, so Nichols gets out in 40 months. He gets time for credit for time served. So he gets out in 40 months. Thugger Daily just posted. Pretty good for all his charges. I would say he got off pretty good. He gets out in 40 months. Not bad. So that's what, 3.5 years? That's what I said yesterday, and y'all were arguing with me. I said 3.5 years, and y'all were like, no, it's not. I agree. We signed this on my shirt. Yeah. Yeah. Available for parole. Yeah, that doesn't mean you'll get it. Yeah. Eligible for parole in 8 months. Yeah. I doubt that will happen, honestly. All right, guys. If there's no update and court hasn't started in the next like 5 minutes or so, we may call it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Never mind. We're staying live. Thugger Daily just reported they let Thug go. That Thug is about to walk out of the courthouse. We're staying live because news cameras will start flying in a second. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Please be true. Please be true. Please be true. Please be true. Oh my gosh. Okay, get cameras going. Please be true. Please be true. Please be true. Let me check chats. Let's check the chat at Atlanta News First. Oh yeah, they're saying the same thing. Oh my gosh, please be true. Please turn a camera on. What's true for those that don't hear? Somebody put it in the chat, please. I can't get to the keyboard right now. Please be true. God's in control. Exactly. It's in every chat. He took a plea deal for probation, apparently. No, not all charges. He's got probation. Is what I'm reading now. I nothing's confirmed, okay, but that's according to Thugger, which he's pretty on point with stuff. And Huey, who's Huey? Huey, y'all know who Huey is? Heuy. What's his nickname? What's Huey's nickname? Giving me menopause. Matthew's client. Oh, okay. The other Quay? Okay. All right. That makes sense. All these Quays. Y'all trying to confuse me. I'm telling you right now, Bonnie ain't gonna let these guys out unless they all plead guilty to RICO. Watch it. Watch it. Watch and see if I ain't right. Watch and see if I ain't right. They're gonna have to all plead guilty to RICO. Look, I'm sorry, I'm snotting. Okay, they're going live outside the court at 3:00. Okay. They're going live outside the court at 3:00. Apparently. Right? So that's what we'll do. We'll go live at 3:00. Okay. See you guys then. Pray, cross your fingers, send up good thoughts, vibes, whatever you do. Bye, y'all.
Yo, hit that like for a deal with Christian. Yo, for a deal with Christian, smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it, just smash it. Hit that like for a deal with Christian. For a deal with Christian, smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it, just smash it. Hit that like for a deal for Christian.